held on the 10th of November 21.
Agreed.
Proposed?
Agreed.
Manning Flynn, seconded.
Agreed.
Great. Motion made. Minutes of the Walking and Cycling Subcommittee.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Agreed, Chairman.
Okay. Item 2, report on parking on footpaths. Dermot Stevenson, Parking Enforcement Officer. Dermot?
Sorry, Chair, we'd agreed that we'd reverse the order because Frank Lamb has some time. Yeah, Frank has some time pressure, so we said we'd take him first rather than
Okay,
Dermot,
well,
if
we
you
go
don't
ahead
mind.
and take Frank Lamb on item 3, report on College Green. Go ahead,
Right.
Frank. You're
Chair,
on.
thanks, Wisty. And thanks for allowing me go a little bit ahead. I've a bit of a cold, so my voice isn't 100%, but I'll kick off on this. This is just an update in relation to College Green. I presume everybody can hear me and all okay.
All clear.
I'll do a quick recap on the project to date and where we're at now, and set out a bit of a timescale for where we're going to be going. Again, as members will know, the creation of the plaza at College Green is in our development plan, our current one, our previous one, and it's again restated in the new upcoming development plan. It's also an objective in the city centre master plan, and it's something we've wanted for a long time. I think it's broadly accepted that the pedestrian environment, the environment generally in the College Green area, is simply not up to standard, and it's not up to a quality that a capital city, certainly that Dublin, should have. We brought an application, a planning application from Bord Pleanála, to improve the public realm at College Green. That was turned down in October 2018, as many members will know. They accepted that the principle of the redesign was good and was worthy of going ahead with, but they had some other issues in relation to traffic, bus diversions, and the capacity of the North and South Quays to handle all the extra bus and passenger traffic. From our point of view, we were obviously very disappointed with that decision. We had a bit of a think as to whether or not we would seek to have that decision reviewed. We decided not to. So the City Council decided instead to revisit the College Green project, taking into account all of the issues that had been raised in Bord Pleanála. As part of that, the National Transport Authority are a partner with us in terms of this project. So we had discussions back and forth with the NTA, principally around the bus network and their Bus Connects project. And in September 2020, again, members will probably know, the final bus network design for the city was published by the NTA through the Bus Connects project, and it indicated an option whereby all buses will be removed from the College Green area, and in fact from the Dame Street East area. The significance of that is that it gave us the opportunity to consider an expanded College Green project to take into account and to incorporate that Dame Street East section, which runs from, say, South Great Georgia Street to College Green. And we did that because, as it happens, within the city centre master plan, an improvement to the Dame Street East, that Dame Street East section, is actually an objective within the city centre master plan in any event. So it's sort of all aligned with what we were hoping to achieve. So in November 2020, again, members might recall, we engaged in a public consultation process, having kind of laid out 5 different scenarios for that Dame Street East section. We went to public consultation on the 2 most popular or most preferred options. And we had something like 4,000 public submissions to that process, and some huge figure, 90+% favoured a particular option. Was the option of having vehicles, having that Dame Street East and College Green traffic free after 11 AM, a similar sort of arrangement to what we have in in Grafton Street. So having gone through that process, And I think Brendan would have previously updated the SPC on that public consultation and how kind of successful it was in terms of getting public reaction to the proposals. But we then within the city council, our roads design engineers, our city architects have been working through all of the various issues that need to be considered, if you like, in terms of putting together a new College Green project. So sorry. We're at a stage now where the next step for us, if you like, is to engage a team of consultants to bring the original College Green design, to review it and bring it through to planning stage initially for the entire enhanced area. That is the area running from South Great George Street to, in effect, Trinity College. So the intention is that in early next year, we will engage a team of consultants that will be planning consultants, architectural, traffic, environmental impact consultants, and prepare a series of surveys in order to prepare and hopefully by the end of next year have lodged a new planning application for the new College Green project, if you like. And I suppose that's it. The bus network redesign, the proposed implementation date for the bus changes under the Bus Connects program is early 2024, and we're hoping to kind of tie in with that by going through next year engagement of consultants, lodgement of a planning application, and then into 2023 hopefully getting planning and then going through a procurement process for a contractor with a view to being in a position to start work on College Green in early 24, tying in with the implementation of the new bus network at College Green. So, Chair, that's probably as quick an update as I can give. I'll take any questions, but what I would suggest, Chair, it might be an idea, and I've no problem doing this. I could come back in maybe the February or March of next year to the SPC with an update when we will know a lot more, because we'll be well into the process of engaging our consultants. But for the moment, at least, I'll take any questions or comments.
Right. Thanks very much, Frank, for that very comprehensive, detailed report and the work that's gone into it, to both yourself and your team. Martina, if there's any speakers, you'll have to call them out, because I have a problem with internet getting the speakers and into any other part of this process. So if there are any speakers, members, please feel free.
Councillor Patrick McCartan.
McCartan.
Thanks, Christy, and thanks, Frank, for the update on that report. There doesn't seem to be that much different from what was proposed last November. It's still planned. Can I just confirm that you'll have the core plaza, and then you'll have the outer plaza, and that will be bus free and car free at all times? Is that there's some issue there about the 11 o'clock in the morning? Now, that's the first question. Now, you didn't mention, is it still intended then to have buses on Wine Tavern Street and Westmoreland Street going two-way? That was in the last proposal. And also, given the changes, now I know we had the pandemic this time last year, but given the way the structures have changed within the city centre in terms of dining outside and more emphasis on using our outdoor facilities, what changes do you envisage as a result of changes that took place in the city, particularly around, say, Capel Street, Parliament Street, and what impact would it have on the proposals for College Green? Thanks very much.
Okay.
Thanks. I'm going to take 3 speakers, Frank, and then you can come back.
Okay.
To address. And next speaker, Martina.
Gary Carney and then Martin Hoy.
Jerry, go ahead. Jerry.
Thank you, Frank, for the presentation. A couple of things. Wine Tavern Street was mentioned. buses can't go up and down Windhaven Street simultaneously because they can't get under the bridge. This was noted. The same problems that the reasons why On Board Finale had turned down the original plan are still there. And as been shown at the moment with the C-spine that Bus Connects are doing, there's major problems along both quays for pedestrians. The other thing, of course, is you're talking about consultants. What disability access consultant? I can recommend some people who are actually disabled rather than somebody who's an engineer who thinks he understands it. I firmly believe in this case, it should be a disabled disability access consultant. I can give you the name of some of the very best. You're talking about doing things that don't work, have been proven not to work, that the bus company were against. The only two people that actually agree with it is the NTA and Dublin City Council, who agree on just about everything anyway. So what's the change? And there's the consultation, an online consultation or signing a form is not a consultation. Consultating is meeting, for instance, my community, and talking to us and listening to our issues, not just ticking a box saying, oh, well, we consulted. Still not good enough. Disability inclusion and access should be included in all aspects of this from concept, and it's not. Again, thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Martin Howie.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you, Frank, for a great update on that. And I look forward to the next update either in February or March of next year. Just come back on what Gary said there. In relation to traffic, I did monitor it on the new C-spine when it started on the quays. Aston Quay is now a joke for our buses pulling in with just one spine operational. Next year, we have a second spine joining it that currently doesn't stop there. And then we will have the other spines. There is not enough room on Aston Quay for buses to pull in or stop. So the only way College Green will work is if we actually turn Aston Quay bus only and put in a second footpath in the middle of the road for buses to pull in. It is impossible otherwise at the moment. So to that, I can't see it working as we plan it to work, unless something is seriously done about the case. That's all.
Thanks, Martin. Did I see Councillor Larry O'Toole's hand up there?
Richard Guiney and Janet Horner as well are looking to speak.
Sorry about that. Go ahead, Richard. Sorry.
Thanks very much, and thanks, Frank, for that. Look, very quickly, the public loved the concept of having a continuous pedestrian plaza or pedestrian zone from College Green up to Stephen's Green. You know, it's something that, you know, in surveys that they're very excited about. I just to echo some of the concerns around the buses. Before the pandemic, 42% of shoppers came in by bus. And we know that people are very reluctant to walk more than 250 metres, and certainly they won't walk more than 500 metres from where they disembark to, you know, to where they want to get to. So places like Windhaven Street and High Street for as the disembarkation is just not going to work for us. So it is something I think that does need to be brought into the consultation process, where those buses, you know, where those buses stop, because it does have to be adjacent to the commercial district. Otherwise, we're in real trouble in the Grafton Street area. So, but as a concept, we're very, very, very enthusiastic about doing something good in that space. Thanks.
Thanks. I'm going to let Frank come back. Then I'll go back then to the list of speakers. I think Councillor Horner would be next. Go ahead, Frank.
Brilliant. Yeah, I will. Chair, am I on? Yeah. Just Councillor McCartan. Yeah, you're quite right. The core plaza, the creation of a plaza at the original College Green, if you like, in front of Trinity and beside the former Parliament House, that is very much still an objective. But we also want to incorporate the section of Dame Street East. In relation to the traffic, our current thinking is that delivery traffic will be allowed into that section of Dame Street East up to 11 AM. It's just that it gives access to a network of streets both to the north and south of Dame Street into Trinity Street and a little, if you like, in behind the former Central Bank. So the expectation is that we'll have a scheme which allows traffic in, delivery traffic in, up to 11 AM, but it's traffic free after 11 a.m. You asked about the changes that will be brought about by the COVID-19 measures. I think it was the point, and that's very, very true. We are going to have to look citywide at all of the measures we implemented and see which of those measures should be made permanent, and I think many of them will be. But it does have an effect on how the city centre functions generally, and we will be taking all of that into account. And our consultants will be instructed to take it into account in coming up with a new design for College Green. You made mention of the Wine Tavern Street and bus movements on Wine Tavern Street. I think Westmoreland Street was mentioned as well. That's for the NTA. That's for the bus companies. We'll be in discussions with them about it, but certainly our focus, if you like, is on the public realm scheme for College Green and for Dane Street. But the bus movements, bus directions, whether it's one way, two way, that is fundamentally a matter for the bus companies and for the NTA. Gary, you touched on the same sort of issues, mentioning Wine Tavern Street, and I know Wine Tavern Street pretty well, and I share some of the concerns you have, but again, that's a matter really for the bus companies. I understand that they're happy that the issues are resolved, but it's a matter for them. One thing I would want to touch on very strongly and support you on, and that is how important it is that our consultation process is appropriate. And I very much buy into the idea that we need to start consulting early and with everybody, and to consult with them in a way that they want to be consulted with. I can't, I'll certainly take on board any suggestions from any SPC member in terms of how that consultation process should be framed, and who we should include within it. I can't obviously commit to taking on any particular consultant, but I'll certainly listen to any suggestions. We want the consultation process to be as comprehensive and as successful as possible. Martin, you again touched on specifically Aston Key, and again the fact that we need to clarify how the bus network will work. We'll certainly talk to the NTA, but again the operation of the buses is a matter for the bus companies. Richard Garney, again, Richard, completely agree with you. The public, I think, have made it very, very clear they want a new public space in the city. They very much support the College Green proposal. But again, I take the point about the fact that the bus is so important in Dublin City. Like we all kind of love Dublin bus, if you like. But yeah, we will have to work out and continue discussions with the bus companies around that. And I agree, back to the consultation process, it is very important that we get that right. And I'd be more than happy to take input from committee members as to how we can put together a consultation process that works for everybody.
Okay, thanks, Frank. I'm going to go back now to the list of speakers. Councillor Janet Arnold. Hello.
Thanks very much. So I just had a couple of questions there. So just to clarify from my own understanding, what has happened since the consultation? The consultation was a year ago. So what's been progressed over the course of the last year? And then also just regarding the planning application, you said it's coming in early next year, so early 2022. Will we be getting a presentation on that before it's lodged, or what's the point of feedback or consultation pre-lodgement? And also, I guess, just for clarity on all these issues as well, like a written report and some of this would be really useful, just so we have a kind of, we're not getting out in the press with, I guess, our impression of what's been said here or anything like that, but we've actually got a kind of much clearer and definitive details about what's happening. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Councillor. I agree there fully, Frank, with the Councillor that certainly a presentation of any progress being made or any other issues in relation to College Green or your process must come before the SPC, even if it means a special transport SPC.
I can commit to that, Christy. Yeah, absolutely.
It's okay. Any other speaker there, Martina?
No other hands up.
Okay, could I just add my bit, Frank? Again, I want to thank the speakers, but in particular on Gary and Martin. Frank, we have to and we must give equal space and time and mention to the disability sector, because in a lot of areas that I deal in, it seems to be left out. It's not deliberate by no means, but I think that it's important that we mention it. It's important that whatever part of the process that there is a process that, of course, it includes people with disability, persons with disability, but that we're actually told what they are, how they will work, and how the consultation process can work. But I would hope Gary and Martin, and indeed any other member, can come forward with ideas for Frank. And Frank has left an open door there, Frank. And you answered the questions in relation to the two-way bus system at Westmoreland Street, NTA, and believe me, my experience with them over the last couple of weeks is quite difficult, but however, we'll keep bashing away on that one. So look, Frank, thanks a lot for your presentation. Thanks for coming back to us, and whatever progress is being made, and I know you have a lot of work ahead of you, but that you come back to us, feel free to come back to us at any time, but in relation to any progress being made, that the presentation comes to us.
Sure, absolutely. It's two-way. I'll come back with some written reports, but very much like you said, if committee members want to send their comments into me directly, I'm more than happy to get them.
That'll be great, Frank.
Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
I hope the wife gets well. Take care.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Sorry, does Frank have any other, I had a couple of bits there about their process now.
Sorry, yeah, Christy, I will come back on that. It's just one of the questions that Councillor Horner had related to what's happened since the consultation. The consultation happened between November and January. So we got the submissions in January. I think Brendan would have reported, I think, to the SPC earlier this year on that. From our point of view, it kind of threw up, I suppose, a brilliant opportunity for us to develop the entire stretch. So our city architects on the design side and on the road side have been just teasing out, and with traffic, teasing out some of the issues, and I suppose getting ourselves prepared for, if you like, bringing it to a firm of consultants to then take it on to a planning application. So that's kind of what's been happening, and I've already committed that yes, we will bring back reports to the SPC and specifically bring a report back before we go near a planning application.
Do I see Colin Ryder with your hand up there, Colin? Colin?
Thanks very much, Chair. Look, just a very quick one. I just would like to see us as an SPC having those reports presented to us before we actually come into the meeting, so that we have them, we can actually assess them or have a good look at them, be ready to ask questions. Frank, just thanks very much for your presentation, but I think it's really important that we get those reports presented to us before the meeting so that we can actually talk legitimately about them. Thank you.
Well, we can arrange that in future. Yeah.
Thanks, Colin. Martin, do you want to come back in? Martin? No. Okay. Thanks, Frank.
Sure, thank you.
Sorry, Christy. Councillor Alison Gillis.
Yeah, go ahead, Lord Mayor. No problem.
Thanks. Apologies, Chair. It's just in response to what Frank said there about preparing for to get a team of consultants or architects to bring it to planning. Does that mean we have to go through a public procurement process? And if we do, how much time does that add to the process? Thank you.
Good question, Lord Mayor.
Yeah, we do, and it's going to take us maybe 3 to 4 months, Lord Mayor. But that process will kick off. It's already kicked off in the sense of identifying some of the consultants from existing frameworks, but it's going to take us 3 to 4 months into the new year.
That can't be helped, Frank.
It can't, exactly, Chair. We have to do it.
Okay, thanks, Lord Mayor. Thank you.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks, Frank. Okay, members, we go back to the agenda. We note Frank's report. We look forward to seeing you very soon in the new year.
Cheers.
Okay, I'm going to go back now to